because I forgot to charge it. My lead keeps falling out. Welcome to the latest edition of Voltsmonster Interactive. With me today is the Karen Pirate.
Hello.
That's got to be the best pirate I've ever seen.
Hello.
Gorgeous Harvey.
Sexy motherfucker. Sexy motherfucker.
Unfortunately, Virgil has had an accident.
Oh no!
Our wingman's missing.
Unfortunately, it's quite traumatic. It involves his underpants, and there was a statistic that came out a few years ago that more people die from underpants than ecstasy.
That's quite a bit. That's quite a.
What about people going a combination of underpants and ecstasy?
Well,
that would be an interesting statistic.
That would definitely be an interesting Darwin Award, wouldn't it? How you died from your underpants whilst taking ecstasy, but
That'd be very. I mean, go out with a bang. At least you're going out with quite a meaningful ending.
well, you might not be banging at all.
Well, you might not be, no. Or you may be. You know,
Smiling.
You could be just smiling. Yeah.
Obviously, Mark remembers ecstasy a lot from the early 90s.
I have an excellent idea. Let's change the subject.
And all that. Yeah.
That's obviously his dreadlock days.
Yeah.
And, so basically, for the rest of today, we've replaced Virgil with a can of Raid. And this is principally because Virgil's favourite occupation is killing like flies. And stuff.
And that leads on to other stuff, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Told you. We're gonna hang out. Gonna watch a movie. Gonna take some pictures.
Obviously,
skeptical.
Just a gateway manslaughter thing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, like Mark can't operate the Raid, obviously, because he's vegan.
Yeah.
Probably with some exceptions: pigeons, ticks, other annoying non-furry creatures.
Ticks, definitely.
And then obviously the seals that he mounts on beaches. So, but should we get on?
That's a great idea.
Let's do it.
So we are Virgil free.
Finally.
I don't know if that's a good thing. It might be a good thing.
We'll see.
We will see.
Yeah.
So just to replace this, I think we should go straight in with bearing in mind the news this week. So the news this week happened yesterday or the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Rishi Sunak made a joke about Keir Starmer and referenced trans people in it, whilst the mother of a dead trans person was in the gallery. And everyone was like, ooh, weren't they?
Yeah.
The irony of that, I thought, was that Keir Starmer, his response was to imply that he was somehow A, credible, B, had good morals and all the rest of it, when he's the one who's put 3 post people in prison.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's easy to throw stones, isn't it?
It is indeed.
So whilst we're in the spirit of throwing stones, how about this for throwing a stone? Our government doesn't work. It obviously failed while we were trying to put it on the screen. The story of this is actually in the URL. So, government news, rollout of electric vehicle charging for schools was actually the URL, which obviously doesn't work. It does have a button which says report a problem with this page. It's run by donkeys. Is that part of the problem? So, Mark, would you like to comment on this?
Yeah, well, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's part of the government strategy, which obviously hasn't worked. And I think, yeah, it's more around levy, which hasn't worked and never will work because we're putting in slow charges, or ironically called fast charges everywhere.
The summary of this is quite clear, and Harvey will comment on this, no doubt, right?
Yeah.
So, I've always questioned, as we know, when in human history has anyone wanted to do anything slower?
Nobody.
Love.
Not even then. Right?
Last longer, but...
They don't call me Tex Mex, fastest shot in the West, for no reason. But look, more importantly, right? Can you think of an invention, more specifically, where doing it slower was successful?
I have an idea!
No, not really.
So, just to put this into context, our illustrious government run by Sunak and opposed, well, it's not really opposed by Starmer, is it?
Agreeing with slightly.
He just kind of does the same shit in a different suit.
manner. Mm-hmm.
It's probably the right way of putting it. They came up with this strategy for EV charging was that everyone would want to charge their vehicles slowly.
That is brilliant! That is inspired! What source? Get in!
The only grants that were available until very recently are for slow chargers. In the industry, they're called fast chargers, but that's like, it's like saying a snail is faster than a slug, right? Because the fast was in reference to the 3 kilowatt charger, which would take you like a week to charge your car, right?
Yeah.
You know, the question is if suddenly petrol was very cheap, right? But it took you 20 hours to fill your car up.
You'd pay more for it.
You'd just pay more for it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So,
well, the problem here as well is that cars, the batteries are getting more and more powerful, so it's going to take even longer to charge them.
well, the new Range
the hell's
Rover is
that?
like 120 kilowatts.
Yeah, yeah.
On a 5 kilowatt home charger, which is what they roughly charge at. How many hours is that?
You're going to be looking at, it's going to be 2 days, isn't it?
Nearly 2 days, yeah. So,
Canal.
Yeah,
Right.
fucking hell.
so what have our clever politicians done? They've decided to improve the grants on slow charging at school.
At schools.
So they've increased the grant. So what this story would have said, right, was that the previous grant, which was £350 an outlet, I'm not sure what the definition of an outlet was. I assume that's a charger, as most of them have one outlet,
One outlet on them.
right? And increased it to about £2,000, right? The question is why? Because a 7 kilowatt charger is about 900 quid, right? But a 22 kilowatt charger, which doesn't charge any cars,
Any cars? No.
they still charge at 7 or
11.
11. You'll cost you £3,000. So you either get twice the amount of money or not enough.
Quite enough.
Right? And then, if you actually wanted to charge it quickly, so say you've driven to school,
Yeah.
right? You parked your car,
Yeah.
right? And there's only 6 chargers, and there's 10 teachers,
Yeah.
right? How are they going to charge? Because it's going to take all day, at least, probably longer than an hour. Bearing in mind the teachers only work part-time as it is,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, they do, don't they?
Well, they start at like 9 in the morning and go home at 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's
It's like a
rookie
part-time
stuff.
job. They have
Yeah.
half the year off
Yeah. It's rookie stuff.
At the sunniest time,
at the sunniest times,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're living life, but they're not living life because they can't charge their
they
car.
can't charge your cars.
So-
What would you rather have? Longer
Yeah.
holidays or faster
So-
car charges?
Faster car.
But what this
Hard
also
decision,
misses,
yeah.
in my view, is that local authorities need more charging access, more charging infrastructure. So surely wouldn't you distribute the energy that you needed to deliver all the other services and use schools as the location to charge them?
Which most schools as well will have
A car
huge
park.
roofs as well, covered with solar, battery
Absolutely.
energy storage.
There is no
But-
grants for solar on school roofs. There is no grants for battery storage at schools, which would reduce the cost of running the school in the first place, and then they could
and allow
buy
them to make an income from it as well if they have rapid charges there.
Absolutely, but fundamentally,
Fail.
right, it is a fail. So
There
Starmer,
you go.
and
Not working.
assuming you're going to win the election by default because no one will vote for anyone else, right? Open your ears and your eyes
Haven't we
And
said
get
this-
out of your...
Haven't we been here before, though?
What is this? I've seen one before. Many, many years ago.
You know those Karens that shout in windows at other people's cars?
Fumes from this car are going in through all the windows and all the ventilation.
The fumes from this car, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I would shout at him like that because he's a moron.
Some people, it warrants it, doesn't it?
Who would he bring as his manager, though?
Who?
Who? What are you, a fucking owl? Who is she?
Keir Starmer?
Yeah.
As his manager, what, for a disciplinary? No, he'd just fiddle the system and put someone else in
Karen's asked
prison.
for a manager, so who would he bring in then?
I don't know, that's a good question. He'd probably bring Rishi Sunak.
It just sounds illogical to me. It doesn't really make any sense as to why you'd want slow charges.
Well, it is fundamentally the question. Please write in and tell me about an invention in human history that made doing something slower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's all about convenience, and that's completely.
Because we like, generally speaking, we like a good EV because we like a good car, right? We don't like EVs for the sake of it. Some of them are interesting, right? But you know, this is what makes it irritating.
Yeah.
Does it not?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because it's just inconvenient. And it's supposed to be convenient. It's supposed to be futuristic, and it's not. So.
Absolutely.
Going backwards.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, should we move on now? We've shouted into the air at moronic politicians. This is sad news.
What
next.
we got next? Aha!
Hold back the tears.
So this is the story of cake, and clearly not having your cake and eating it.
Yeah.
I am genuinely disappointed with this, but...
Oh no, they didn't go in there, did they? Oh, that really is too much. Oh, I'm annoyed now.
They were good bikes. They had so much potential, doing good things as well. They developed a range for anti-poaching.
I thought you were going to say to help people poach.
For poaching patrols in Africa for the anti-poaching personnel to...
Where did they charge them?
Good question. Good question. Presumably...
Because there is a few of these electric motorbikes. The most famous one is the Suron, which drug dealers all use.
All use it.
Yeah, because they're quiet, sneaky, 12-year-olds can ride them.
Yeah.
They're technically a bike. Obviously, we've covered Suron and... what's his face? Britain's Got Talent. Come on. Brain not working.
I'm trying to think.
Simon Cowell.
Simon Cowell, yeah.
Simon Cowell,
He was riding one, wasn't he?
Yeah, he rode one in his driveway and fell off it.
Yeah, and injured himself.
And broke his back, gave himself a stroke, a facelift, repaired his teeth at the same time.
Yeah,
which was incredible.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was, he pulled up his trousers.
I was going to say, even further.
Wow. That is something. Maybe he did it on purpose. Just as an excuse to...
Maybe.
Was he in like a full body cast?
I don't know,
So
but
his trousers are like
maybe Simon Cowell is
just below his nipples.
Is he Evel Knievel's love child? Because he did a lot of falling off motorbikes, didn't he?
I reckon.
Or Eddie Kidd.
Eddie Kidd. I actually preferred Eddie Kidd. He had a bit more guts to him, I think.
Sounds like he did it on purpose, just to make an excuse to the missus to say as to why he wanted to get loads of plastic surgery done.
But there is an unfortunate thing right here, is that, like, if you went on Google Images and went, I'm looking for a picture of a cake,
what would you get?
What would you get?
Yeah.
Because you'd be really confused, wouldn't you? If you asked for it, never seen a picture of a cake, you're an alien, you'd arrived from space, good test, right? And then you Googled cake. So maybe they went bust because people were not looking for cakes, they were typing in motorbike.
Yeah.
I think the reason the way they went bust is because this is which effectively is a 125 equivalent, is £12,000.
Sorry?
£12,000.
That's insane.
No, compared to
£12,000.
£12,000. So compared to something like
that's an expensive cake.
A Maving RM1, for example, you can get for £6,000, or a Super Socko Max. £5,000. So
or a Suron for about £3.
Or a Suron for about £3. Yeah, there you go.
So Is the demise of it because it was made in Sweden and was hideously expensive? Name something else made in Sweden that we buy regularly.
ABBA.
Yeah. People.
Yeah. IKEA.
No, you can't say
not,
IKEA.
It's not made there, though, is it? Yeah.
You can't say IKEA furniture
It's not
because
made there,
it's made by children in Bangladesh
Yeah.
or somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't.
Sorry,
Oh, sorry.
They may well sue us for that, right? I have no idea where they're made. What I'm saying is they're not made in Sweden.
I think we could disregard that though because they've got decent EV charging, so we'll
Have
let
they?
them off.
I've used their EV charging in Exeter, and it's dark at night.
Which means it's dangerous.
Stuff that's dangerous. They could do with some extra lighting, and they're also made by GridServe or someone. And they're really shit.
Surprisingly.
So, yeah, there are other obviously locations where you can charge it extra, mostly at moto services. Also with GridServe.
Is that implying that GridServe's shit?
No, I didn't say the GridServe shit. I have much respect for the Toddington man. Anyway.
I think your screen
man, the
record's
myth, the
gone
legend.
wonky.
Yeah, what's going on with my screen recording? What's happened there? How do I make it bigger?
I've got a problem with my home computer.
Right.
Basically, I've just joined that the worldwide thingamajig.
The worldwide thingamajig?
Yes, and well, a friend of mine, he says he sent me something.
Right.
I just wanted to know how to play the thing.
Right. Have you received it?
Yes, I've received it. It's here. He said just click on the box.
Yeah.
Does he mean press the button?
Presumably.
Oh, so that's what clicking is.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, between the technical problems we were having, I accidentally ended up on this, but it actually cake buck. That could get very misconstrued.
Because they do have another one actually. What is the other? Is it the Aura? I think.
But it also, the amazing thing is, the next title under that says, "Cake wants a pile of money for this off-roader."
That's probably why they went bankrupt.
The really interesting one that they made is, and this is probably why they went bust, is if you put in Cake OSA, OSA, on the same channel.
That one. What is that?
So apparently it doubles as an office, a work bike, and multiple power sources as well. So yeah.
Oh, it's like a wank mobile.
Now this is.
It's just like
I think saying it doubles as an office is slightly stretching.
Is that someone playing the drums next to it? Majid would like this, hasn't he?
There is a bloke playing the drums in a field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Majid would quite like that.
What is that all about?
Now this would just go down in Totnes. Wonderful. Right?
It would. This is a Totnes
This
motorbike.
is a Totnes one, definitely. In fact, I might buy one and just take it to Totnes. Like.
What can I say?
Just confused and puzzled and perplexed about what's going on.
It's like, I have to say, it's like the trans version of a motorbike, isn't it?
It's just weird.
It's not sure if it's a motorbike or an office.
Yeah.
I mean, how has he carried his drum set with him on that? Because his drum set does not look like it'd fit. Or has he got a trailer?
It's a pretty small drum set.
And also the other one, the other shot of that is when it's driving around that road. It's going. It says high performance.
High performance.
Yeah. It basically looks like scaffolding with a bloke sat on. But we're quite sad about Cake. Because actually, we need more of these sort of people pushing the boundaries, and hopefully someone will buy the tech and it will be reborn
cheaper
as a pudding or something.
Yeah.
And cheaper.
I wonder if anybody bought one of those.
I think the sales were pretty good.
Were they pretty good?
Yeah.
That's quite something. Right.
Fair enough.
And on that note, talking of puddings...
How much is that? Do you know how much that is?
The Aura one,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. The OSA or OSA.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Pricing for the OSA starts at $8,500. So probably around about $7,000.
But look, it saves you on buying an office, doesn't it? So anyway, we've got...
You're very young looking.
That is a very young looking Jonathan Wass.
So, as I understand it, I've just got to put the sound on. Where's the sound? So this is Jeremy Clarkson talking about electric cars some years ago. Obviously, you can tell it's Jeremy Clarkson some years ago because he's not fat and he's not old.
So this probably would about the era of the G-Whiz, was it?
Yeah, so I think this particular video was when Jonathan Ross, who is now also fat and old, bought a G-Whiz, which was a terrible car. Just to put this into context, what a G-Whiz is. Here you go.
There we go.
Even Auto Express described it as the worst cars ever.
Yeah.
It is a terrible thing, right? There is nothing positive to say about it. It basically looks like a car designed by a 5-year-old, which makes it have a lot in common with a Cybertruck.
I remember these when I was younger, or a variant of them, and they were blue, and they were named a politically incorrect transport name. But
what were they called?
do you remember?
What, spastic wagons?
That's the ones.
Sorry, they were called that,
Were they?
and
Well,
that was
that's
very inappropriate nowadays.
Were they
but
called that?
That was what they were called.
Yeah, they were.
Did they transport spastics? Is that why? Yeah.
That's what they were developed for.
That's
Yeah.
what that cake or
Just,
OSA
it's
thing
that
is.
whole thing, isn't it? Back then in the 70s, it was okay to discriminate against someone on the basis of a disability.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was, rather than make normal cars acceptable to be able to be driven by people with disabilities, they made them special cars.
that just made
So
them
they had a
worse.
giant sign on the top of them saying, saying, "I am disabled."
Mm-hmm.
I can't actually remember what they're called, but they were always known. Here we go.
There you go.
The Thundersley and AC
Invercar.
It is a terrible thing. The funny thing is someone on a website called Help My Mobility says, "Whatever happened to the ice blue Invercar? Why would you ever want to know that? When you were disabled, why would you want to drive that?"
Yeah, it's kind of like standing out like a sore thumb, isn't it? Don't really want to be disabled. It's
the only person that I would actually class as retarded was the person who invented it. But it is also called the Thundersley, and Thundersley is near Southend-on-Sea,
Right.
as I recall. And it's a bit of a shithole. Last time I remember being there. It's a bit near Canby Island, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, well,
and it says quite a lot. It was probably made there as well, which hence why they always broke down. They were also 2-stroke, smelt really bad.
Smelled like bad, yeah.
And the best bit was you couldn't take your mates with you. So, hideous thing. And then, of course, someone invented the G-Whiz, which is kind of the same thing. So if you're Jonathan Ross, you just look at it and go, you've seen the way Jonathan Ross dresses, so you think dickhead. Perfect car for him.
Yeah.
A Wass wagon.
A Wass wagon.
Yeah.
Sorry, we shouldn't take a mick out of people's disabilities. But Jonathan Ross, you deserve it. It's like Piers Morgan. Here you go.
In a few years' time, I expect that we will see you driving a rechargeable electric vehicle.
You won't.
Why not?
It's not environmental.
Is it not environmental?
Well, you come home, you have to plug that stupid little hairdryer you go around in, yeah? You have to plug that into the wall. Where's it getting the power from to charge it up?
From
a power station
Yes.
which runs on coal or
solar power.
What solar-powered power station?
From the sun.
We are now, I think all of us, getting concerned finally about the environment.
Really?
Yes.
Now, you don't believe that.
I do so believe it.
No, because you said only just in makeup. I'm going to ban my children from having children, and then I won't have to worry about my children's children.
Yes. Only because I don't think everyone else is taking the environmental threat as seriously as I am.
Now, I've looked at all the evidence on the environment. There's a lot of reports, and I've read them all, and I've just decided I don't give a shit.
He needs a cake.
Yeah.
A cake also.
He needs a cake, yeah.
Absolutely. On that note, Jeremy Clarkson, you need a cake.
Yeah, to play the drums
Obviously,
in the forest.
if you look at you now, you've eaten way too much cake.
Yeah.
And Richard Hammond, since that point, has had another accident. Freddie Flintoff has nearly died.
Yeah. And Top Gear's no more.
And you punched someone.
Yeah.
Apparently. So, and he probably since then he also punched Piers Morgan, which is obviously something to celebrate.
I think he should have done it more than once.
So look, there has been some really good stuff that's come out of Jeremy Clarkson. So yeah, thank you, Jeremy. Anything to add? Gorgeous halves. Your video.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously, it's a bit like when they asked him about the performance cars, and he said there's no such thing. It's a bit outdated.
But this was a long time ago.
I know. Yeah, I get that. That's
and
what
since
I said,
that
it's a bit
point,
outdated.
since that point, Rimac has come along.
Yeah, I know. But I think
kind of goes.
I think. Yeah, I just found it. I thought it was funny. So, you know.
Good. Right. So anyway, we've established. If you want to know anything, Jonathan Ross still dresses like a twat. He's also fat and old. And unfortunately, I think his children have already bred.
Yeah.
So there may well yet be additional...
More of them.
More of them.
Yeah, more of those lisps and stuff like that. You know.
So anyway, I thought there was a really good opportunity, bearing in mind it's 2024. So I thought I'd use someone else's editorial efforts.
To review what's going up.
To review what's going on.
We're a bit late to the game.
So, Autocar, thank you for writing this. But you know, I thought we would play a game.
I want to play a game.
Right? Because everyone's, you know, opinions about EVs are like arseholes, everyone's got
one, yeah.
Right? And so we're going to play a game. It's, I like it, or I don't like it. Right?
Yeah.
Shit game, right?
It's not that bad. It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Simple to the point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you have to... There will be additional points given for flamboyancy in a like it.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, so the first one is our bath. So it's actually a Fiat 500, right?
Yeah.
But it's got an Arbath badge on it, which traditionally with Arbath made things mental.
You're also fucking mental.
Absolutely mental.
I'm hoping that mentalism has actually taken over in Italy and they're actually going to do something. So it's basically like a Rimac in that size.
A roller skate with a V8 on.
Yeah, but I would say this car shares its platform, I believe, with the Fiat 500, which this is, the Jeep Avenger, and one of those weird Peugeot-looking things with a very small steering wheel. So
I think the Lancia as well, isn't it? There's the
Lancia.
one as well.
So do you like it or not?
I like it just because it's our bath. It's kind of cute looking, but slightly annoying as well. But yeah, I like it.
Well, it's vomit yellow.
It needs
my
to be
dog,
red. It
my
needs to be
dog,
red.
whenever she throws up, it's that colour.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Kelpie Vomit Yellow.
What do you feed her? Glow sticks.
She does look like a glow stick when she blows up.
I don't know. I think like the design of it isn't very nice. I don't like the whole Abarth thing there. Like they don't have that written on the front of the standard ones that they make. They're just normal cars. I don't know. It just looks a bit granny-like.
So do you like it or not?
No, I don't like it. It looks granny-like. Whereas at least the ones that are like, you know, the Fiat 500 standard one that's in the bath, it actually looks pretty decent.
Okay.
But,
so scores on the doors is, I think, I don't know, you like it, you don't like it.
No.
So it's like 1 point to our bath.
I'll
Right.
fucking have that. Yeah, definitely.
This is the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale. What I would point out is the last Alfa Romeo 33 was a hideous car. Terrible pile of shit. Right? Do you like it? Bearing in mind it's got 3 motors for a combined output of 739 brake horsepower.
What's not to like?
It has nothing to do with the original Alpha 33. It's just that they're only making 33 of them.
Okay, right.
I genuinely no idea why. I like that a lot.
Gorgeous.
I like it a lot.
Gorgeous heart.
Yeah, it's decent. It's not too bad. It's nice. Yeah, I like it. Quite like what they've done there. That bit.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
good.
Very nice.
Gillette style on the front there as
Yeah,
well.
I like that. Yeah. I like
Right,
that
next
touch.
one, Alfa Romeo Milano.
Alfa's going for it, isn't it? So this is
I
the
love
one that
that-
shares the same platform as the.
I would
Chica
point
Chica
out
and
that
the Abarth.
Autocar have cunningly written Autocar on the side of it. I'm not sure why.
It's almost as if they own the rights to the image when they don't.
Do we like it or not? Look, it's one of these crossover SUV things that everyone makes that aren't really anything other than a Focus with a bit more ground clearance. So it's a generally less aerodynamic thing. So obviously it has its siblings, which is the Jeep Avenger, it's B segment car, and it's basically taking over from where the Mito was. So it's 4-wheel drive, dual motor. They are thinking about making a Psycho one. Do we like it?
It's Alpha, it's Italian. Isn't a quadrifoglio version coming out? So yeah.
I think it's alright. It's decent. Yeah.
Would you give a bollock for it?
No.
Okay.
Wouldn't give a bollock for it.
Then we get the Always U5.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it.
U5 was it an Uz or?
Look, it's Chinese shite.
Yeah, no, I don't like it.
No.
It's crap.
No.
This is just like, it's
Ooh,
Sang-Yong.
Alpine.
Alpine A290. This is basically based on the new Renault 5.
This is trying to be the
Obviously, this picture was taken is of the demo vehicle, the prototype that was at Goodwood, I believe.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool.
The Renault 5 was a really cute car.
Mm-hmm.
The GT Turbo was a mad
awesome.
thing. Little fact about the original GT Turbo and Renault 5. When they engineered it, they only engineered it for left-hand drive.
Yeah.
So they had this problem about how you got the clutch cable from the driver's side to the passenger side where the gearbox was in a right-hand drive one. So they thought, we're French, we can deal with this, we can deal with the heat. So what they did was they attached it to the exhaust manifold, which meant that your clutch cable used to melt and then glue itself and then snap.
Quality.
I had a really lucky, awesome experience with GT5. Well, no, the Renault 5. After I'd trashed my first Mini, through somebody's back garden on its roof. My next door neighbour had...
Nowadays, if you did that, you'd be in prison.
Yeah.
My next door neighbour had a knackered old Renault 5, which sat in their driveway for months, and they gave it to me. And I fixed it up, got it roadworthy, got it through the MOT and it was this is how old it was. It had the handbag gear change.
Okay. Coming
out of the dashboard. And my neighbour on the other side, their son, crashed his GT5. I swapped components.
Oh, good.
And it was I think every time I used it, I had to carry an oil can with me.
Yeah, that's not
basically
much,
just top it up with oil everywhere I went.
But that was the 70s and 80s.
It kept going forever.
They ran more on oil than petrol.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next one is this. The Alpine GTX Over. It looks like the love child of a Porsche Cayenne and an Autocar badge, which they painted on the side of this one as well.
It's kind of weird looking.
It is a bit weird.
Is it just me, or the front wheel's bigger than the back?
Look, it was obviously rendered by our friends at Autocar. So no,
not a big fan.
I think is the answer. The next one, the Audi A6 e-tron.
Oh my gosh!
Which Audi have since this point have said that they're going to stop using the word e-tron, I believe. Basically, it looks like every Audi ever made.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't like the front. The front of it's a bit.
It also, no doubt, if it's an Audi, like all Audis, unlike Porsche, weirdly, will charge slowly and not go very far.
Yeah, no on that one.
I don't understand how that works. The next one is another e-tron. Boring.
No, boring, yeah.
BMW i5 Touring. So this is basically an electric 5 Series. And it does start with, do you want a posh estate?
Doesn't really look posh though, does it? Kind of just...
Would you rather have a Taycan Turismo or that?
I'll take the Taycan.
Yeah, all day long.
Yeah.
No.
No. Although it's better than the current one. The current one, the grill on the current one's horrible. It's like
they're
really
all
narrow.
hideous. So
But
once
it's
again, BMW
better, but
is
not
in
good.
its ugly phase, self-harm phase of having ugly...
self-sabotage.
Yeah, like let's make our cars as meaningly ugly as possible.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
It does say, it strangely uses the word, it touts an official range. Does that mean that basically it's like fake tickets sold outside a football stadium?
It's like dodgy merch. Rip-off band t-shirts sold on a pavement.
The next one is the BYD Seal U. Obviously, we're waiting for the BYD
Dolphin.
Elephant Seal Walrus Tusk.
Yeah.
Obviously, because they've started naming all their cars after sea mammals randomly. I don't understand Seal U though. Be in your dreams with a seal and you. That's just a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't really like it. I think it just looks like a, kind of...
Strangely, it looks like a Euro box, even though it's made in China.
Yeah.
So,
Not a big fan.
look, what can I say?
Oh, this is going to be shit as well. Look at
no.
Shit.
No.
What I would say is, back in the day, Citroen used to make interesting cars.
Now it's
if you think back to your
awful now.
your 70s and 80s years, obviously before my time, Citroens were interesting. They had suspension that went up and down. They had steering wheels that turned while the middle bit stayed still.
What was the one where you could effectively drive it on 3 wheels?
That was most of them.
Yeah.
In the 80s,
and you didn't need to have a jack
because he's got a jack.
Because they had pneumatic suspension.
Yeah, you had that.
They would jack up the back end for
now.
One side.
Citroen's idea of being interesting is to just be fucking ugly.
It's horrible.
Cupra Tabascan, whatever that is. Sounds like some sort of medical intervention. I'm going for a Tabascan next week.
Yeah. Nah, not a big fan. Just think it just looks like everything else.
It's based on this Volkswagen ID5, so it'll probably be shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Obviously slightly better than
Dacia.
the ID3. Dacia. Look, what I would say about Dacia Spring, right? It's 13 grand.
Exactly.
Okay,
you can't
so-
get wrong, really, could you? It's like...
Okay, yeah, you
You
can't
can't-
argue with that.
you can't argue with that, can you?
Would you rather a cake bike or that? And to be honest, you'd probably rather a cake bike.
Yeah, exactly. £1,000 more and you could have that.
It is 13,000 euros in Europe, which means that when it gets here, it'll be 26,000.
Of course.
Because of our way of selling cars. Fiat 600e looks suspiciously like the first thing we saw.
Yeah, no. It's like it's caught in between not knowing what it is.
Then we got Fiat Panda, which
the
I
Panda,
think...
yes.
Do you know what? I think this is wicked.
Yeah, I like this.
Because all of the 4x4 Pandas have been...
They've been
epic.
a bit of a box, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's like...
Its function, over form, does a job. I like this a lot. Harvey?
I wouldn't go and buy it. You know. No. I don't know. The thing with Fiat Pandas, I mean, it's better than every other Fiat Panda I've seen, but there's a stigma surrounding.
Do you know one of the best Fiat Pandas is they did one which was called the 100 HP, right?
Oh, was it really 100 horsepower?
It had 100 horsepower.
Yeah.
In
a Panda. Which basically they put it on lowered, small, chunky little wheels.
Yeah.
Really good stance, sorted suspension, really quick rack in it, 100 horsepower, went like shit off a shovel.
You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That sounds good. But I don't know, when it comes to that, it's like, I don't know, I think it's the stigma surrounding the Fiat Panda. But it's just...
but the thing is,
that is quite good.
But the Italians used to make really good, little, quick, zippy cars.
Yeah.
And the Panda was one of those. But for the... Nowadays, all cars are fat. They're like Jeremy Clarkson. Anyway, Fiat
the Topolino.
Topolino, which is basically like a Citroen Ami, but sort of cuter.
And doesn't have any doors.
It does look a bit more like the, the little children's car.
Yeah, the one that's yellow and
yellow and
red.
orange. So
there's cars that when you get to about 5 years old, 6 years old, you realise that you don't fit in them anymore.
Yeah, one of these, like
little tykes.
Yeah,
little tykes.
Yeah. You get in there and you're like, fucking hell, I can't get back out.
When did you last get in one?
Like I said, when I was about 5 or 6, I realised that I was too big to fit in there.
So basically, Fiat Topolino or Little Tykes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarity.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it doesn't have doors; it has rope.
Yeah. Nice.
It's like the entrance to a posh club.
It probably doesn't go that fast that you would need or something, I should imagine.
Well, quite. Anyway, next one. Ford E-Transit. Can't speak. Ford E-Transit. Obviously, this has been coming for years. Obviously, the Volkswagen Transporter is shit. And only the EV version of it does what? 10 miles or something? I don't know. This is obviously allegedly quite good. They're talking about 250 miles as standard. I think it looks alright as a van.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it looks alright, yeah.
Then we've got the Ford Explorer, which is being teased repeatedly. But this is based on the platform between VW and Ford as part of their tie-up, which also includes the Amarok and stuff like that. So, do we like it?
No.
It isn't actually as big. Like, they described the platform as giant, but when you actually see the Explorer close up, which I did when I was in the US last year, it's not actually that big. It's about the same size as a Skoda Enyaq.
Right, okay.
So Ford Explorers have always been big things, but this isn't anywhere near as big as you think. Mustang Mach-E Rally. It's like an RS version of a Mustang. Do we like it?
Doesn't do it for me.
No, I don't.
About the only thing good for it does has best part of 500 horsepower, which is always a good thing. Ioniq 5N, which is basically N means it's fast.
Yeah. I don't like it. I think like I said, the normal N that isn't electric looks much better than that.
Only that they've stopped making it.
But
the normal i30N or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's got a lot.
But it does have 641 brake horsepower.
My bum is flapping a little bit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? 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 That's good boy, good man. I feel a bit sick. I had to keep reminding myself that I was standing in a kitchen.
I like the sound of that a lot.
Yeah, you can't complain with that, can you?
Because the petrol one, the i30N's got about 200.
Yeah.
So it's got 3 times as much power.
3 times, wow.
So, yeah, look, that does. Jeep Recon, so basically a Jeep where they forgot to attach the doors.
Is there no doors there?
No, you can. You do get doors. You just have to remove them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Why do you have to remove them?
So you for air conditioning purposes. And obviously, if you went to assault something with the assault rifles in America.
Yeah. I think it's alright.
Yeah, I think it's
I'll go for that, definitely.
I love the fact it's got dog windows in the back.
Yes, yeah.
The next one, Kia EV3, which looks like the EV9.
It's crap. They've tried too hard.
It looks unfinished.
It does.
They've tried too hard.
So we don't like that. Lotus Emir.
We like the Emir, most definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Decent, yeah.
Yeah, we like that a lot.
Right up my street.
Next one, Maserati Gran Turismo Folgore.
I mean,
this is an electric supercar. 0 to 60, 2.7, 199 mile per hour top speed.
I like the fact they haven't made it look electric, 'cause it doesn't look electric. Really, does it?
No.
That's what I quite like about it, but
yeah, we like that. I like all Maseratis as a general.
yeah. Yeah, I like it. It would be weird if
How far range would you get 199 miles?
Yeah.
I don't know.
3.
Yeah, that's what
this is the new Maserati, which is the Grecali, I believe.
Yeah, I like the fact that.
Apart from that, it's strangely pink. I don't really like it.
I like the fact they're not making them look electric. Like if you looked at that, you wouldn't think, oh, it's an electric car. That's what I like about it.
So 500 horsepower, 4.5 seconds, 60. We like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maserati MC20 Folgore.
Maserati are good for it as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I like it.
Obviously, it will share its powertrain with the Gran Turismo, but it's more performance-related track car. Well, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Oh dear, no.
Doesn't help the colour. Doesn't help that it's like got that disguise.
So Mini Aceman, obviously, it's in disguise, so we don't actually know it. But it does describe it as a crossover sandwich between the Cooper and the Countryman, which basically means, once again, BMW are finding niches that don't exist.
Yes.
But strangely, in its wrapper, it looks like a sandwich as well.
Yeah.
The irony of that statement.
Do you remember Heinz sandwich filling?
Yeah,
it looks exactly like
it does.
that.
It actually looks like a jar of Heinz sandwich filling. Mini Cooper just looks like a mini fatter.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It is 31 grand, 181 horsepower. They do claim that it's a hoot to drive. We'll be the judge of that. So Mini, we'd like to have a go. Mini Countryman is... What is that? What's with those strange headlights?
Yeah, again, they just try too hard.
Can I just say no?
And that looks like an artificially lengthened bonnet on that.
You know what's happened? Like... They've allowed the BMW designer who designed the front of BMWs to design that. He got into he obviously got into the designer.
He looked at a Z5 and went, well, no, I'll stick that on a Mini. Like.
Yeah, absolutely. Peugeot E300008.
Yeah, it's not
Look,
bad.
it's a Peugeot.
It will do the job.
Yeah, it does the job. Polestar 3.
Yeah. No,
obviously, there's been a bit of news today about... There's been all these headlines going, Volvo's dumping Polestar.
Really?
No. Geely, who already owned Polestar and Volvo, have just said, we're going to make them distinct brands.
Why wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Obviously, Polestars do look a bit Volvo-esque. They do describe this as basically a Volvo EX90 wearing a tracksuit and trainers.
Yeah.
Anyway, Polestar 4 without a back window.
No.
You don't look behind you anyway because you don't want to see all the crashes behind you. So
No, but not bothered.
Gold.
No.
It does say Polestar's most environmentally friendly yet.
It's got a roof-mounted camera instead.
What can I say? Porsche Macan. We keeping you up?
Yeah.
This has got a lot of noise this week. 4.5 seconds to 60, kind of that sort of territory. It's about the same performance as a GTS, which basically is going to make it staggeringly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Range Rover Electric, staggeringly expensive. There is already a waiting list for these.
Already.
Yeah, look, it's a Range Rover. It looks like a Range Rover. Smells like a Range Rover. Stolen like a Range Rover.
Yeah.
Just to put that into context, my car currently, my insurance premium, my Land Rover insurance premium has gone up from £580 to
1,080.
£2,700.
How much? Jesus.
Basically, because some engineers in the Midlands near my factory up there have just decided, fuck it, that'll
We
do.
won't fix, yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Renault 4. The last Renault 4 was terrible. And I actually remember a story. My sister's boyfriend drove a Renault 4. Obviously, he wasn't very attractive. And someone hit him from behind, and the whole body left the chassis while he was sat in it.
Ouch. A modern, the later one, not the 70s one. So.
No, the 70s one.
Right, yeah, I was going to say.
Do we like this?
No.
I could see you driving one of these.
I like this. I've got very fond memories of Renault 4s. I learned to drive a Renault 4 when I
about
ran
it
the
is
farm
it's a bit
tracks.
different. Other than that, it's it's just
Next, Volkswagen ID7, which is basically just a Mercedes-Benz EQ, whatever it is.
no, not really.
It does describe it as hugely practical. I reckon you couldn't put 3 dogs in that though.
Doesn't look like it.
No,
it does look better than a Model 3 Tesla.
I'm loving these claimed miles of 386 to 435.
Well, exactly. We'll see, won't we? Volvo EX30. God, I can't read.
No.
No?
No, it doesn't do it for me.
It does look a bit Polestar-esque. EX90.
No.
Right, looks like Skoda.
Xpeng
G6.
G6.
Well, there's an interesting look to it.
Yeah.
It does look a bit like a Cayenne, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It's not terrible for a Chinese car. That's actually not bad.
I just don't know about like buying a car that's like just no one knows anything about. Just makes you look a bit like. It's like when people used to buy SsangYongs and all that. You know, it just looks a bit like it's a bit naff. You know what I mean?
And that is the end. So that is the list of cars presented by Autocar coming this year. Any standout ones? I think the
Maserati.
the Alfa or the
Alfa
Maserati.
for me, definitely the Alfa.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the Maserati, because it doesn't look like an electric car. They haven't tried to make it look crazy futuristic. So
Cool. So, we should probably wrap up. Obviously missing the Virgil.
What about the worst one?
So we're going to have a vote for the worst one?
The worst. There was a few bad ones in there. I'm trying to remember which.
Yeah, I'm trying to
struck
remember.
me
There's
as
so many
the
bad ones.
worst
I'm trying
ones.
to remember which one. I think it was a Citroen. That Citroen was not.
Wasn't a good look, was
No.
it?
No. I think the Citroen's loser on that one, or the winner of the losers.
The winner of the losers then is the Citroen E Umlaut C3 hyphens, whatever it is. It's got some strange.
C3PO.
Neither French nor German nor whatever.
Just looked crap. You know. Is that the one that was worth 13 grand though?
No, that's the Dacia Spring.
Oh, okay, right. No, it won't be that. It'll be the Citroen, I think.
So.
Yeah.
So the winner.
For me is the Alfa.
Alfa.
I'd probably say the Alfa. Yeah. Because in terms of the Maseratis, it's like.
Do you know I'd have two?
Yeah.
I'd have the Lotus Emira as my day-to-day driver.
Yeah.
And the Alfa for the rest of the time.
What colour would you get the Emira in?
Not yellow.
Not yellow.
Even though Lotus yellow is yellow.
Good. Yeah.
That's a bit like people who buy Uruses and always buy them in.
It has to be. When did Lotus go away from the green?
Probably when Colin Chapman died.
What colour would you get it?
I would probably have it in a satin colour.
Yeah.
Satin.
Yeah.
What about the Alpha? What was it, the Alpha? You said the Alpha?
The
Yeah, you
Alpha.
said the
Alpha's
yeah.
got to be red.
Yeah,
It can only be red for an
Alpha's
Alpha.
red.
Yeah.
I do quite like a black Alpha.
Yeah, I was going to say red or black. Something like that.
But that does mean there are some EVs that we like.
Yeah.
Hey.
Amazing.
And are looking forward to driving. So on that note, that kind of bombshell, if you want to call it, to summarise...
That was the icing on the cake.
And to take a Jeremy Clarksonism, his bombshell, you fat old person, we found a car that actually you might even like to drive.
Yeah. And I think we all unanimously agreed on the same one as well.
Pretty much.
That's got to be a first, sure.
Yeah, so...
well done, Alpha.
Well done, Alpha. Well done, Lotus, for bringing out decent stuff that we want to drive.
Yeah.
Citroen, you're better
It's
than
just,
that.
yeah, it's getting ridiculous.
And
it's getting ridiculous.
also, in summary of that,
Yeah.
if we were doing a school report in a similar way, our politicians clearly need to try harder.
Try harder, definitely.
Any other things you'd like to say apart from eat cake, unless it's a motorbike?
I do hope the cake can actually make a comeback because I remember seeing the models the first time I saw them. I was quite impressed with them. It was novel, unique, so they come back.
I still try to understand whose idea it was to have a guy playing the drums. I think that's quite interesting. I'd love to know whose idea that was.
Well, that could just be the moral from today's story.
Yeah.
If you want to market your motorcycle...
Maybe we could do that as a challenge. Is how big a drum set could you get on a cake?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. It depends which type of cake.
Yeah, it does depend.
Obviously, if you want to ride a cake, play drums in a field, fill your boots. If you want to look cool, buy an Alpha or a Lotus.
Definitely.
Yeah. And on that note, it's bye from me.
Later, folks.
See you later.